how has this elder care landscape really evolved? What are some of the most urgent needs in elder care today?
So I think this is a misconception, as you said, is that it's all about physical needs. It isn't. It's equally about social and emotional needs.
What has been the most rewarding part of your journey, you'd say, so far? Does this mean Samarth is a phone call away?
We provision for a care manager who's dedicated to that family.
Okay. What makes Samarth unique?
You have to learn what is their one wish, what are their two fears, and what are their three joys. We offer this in 350 cities across the country. We serve NRIs in 32 countries across the world.
Hello and welcome to this podcast, Navigate with HSBC. Now today we're going to talk about something that is deeply personal, and that is caring for the elderly. Now as our parents, as our loved ones age, we want to ensure that they are well supported even when life may get busy or distance becomes a challenge. And that is why I'm very happy to introduce Asheesh Gupta, who is the founder of Samarth Elder Care Services, doing some amazing work in this field to bring a lot of peace in mind, or as you were saying, sukoon to the families that may be away from, their parents and their loved ones. Asheesh, thank you very much for being with us here today. Briefly start by telling us about, this service that you have, this company that you built. What led you to it?
Thank you. Thanks very much for having me here. So it's been a passion and a labor of love over a bunch of years. It really started, there are four of us who co-founded it, and it started with our own experience of not being able to do enough to support our parents. Some of us had to come back to India to look after our parents. Some of us were doing that long distance over decades. And we said, look, there must be a better way to do this. And honestly, if there was a Samarth 10 years ago, we wouldn't have started it. And, that passion project developed into a business plan. We did a lot of research. We came up with insights which amazed us. And as we talked to more people, as we talked to friends, we saw that this was a big challenge and a big problem. So Samarth is really an answer to that problem of trying to support our parents when we can't be with them.
Okay. You've started out about 9 years ago. Since then, how has this elder care landscape really evolved? Is there more awareness, you think, in the market about it?
Definitely. And the last 2 years have been particularly eventful.
Why is that?
Because I think the general awareness that elderly and aging is a big challenge has come to, forefront.
Okay.
To my mind, it's the challenge of the century. It's as big as global warming.
Yeah.
And that India too is aging is somehow, starting to dawn on people. So that's one big thing. I think the other thing is it's got many more people excited about it. So in the last couple of years, we've seen a lot of efforts of different kinds, different scale, different ways people are trying to address this problem of elder care, whether it is at home, whether it is outside. And I think the third big change that I have seen is that today a lot more services, discrete services, which can make life easy, all the way from e-commerce and quick shopping and all that, are available, and available in not just major cities but tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 cities. And that's kind of changing the landscape in which we operate.
Okay. What are some of the most urgent needs in elder care today? If you could give us examples, you said online shopping is one, but what are some of the most urgent needs?
So I think there are a few ones which kind of stand out. I think a big one which people don't talk enough about is loneliness and isolation. We always talk about physical support and medical support, but the big challenge for a lot of elderly, and very early on, as soon as people retire, is a sense of isolation.
Yeah.
And it comes because of many reasons: lack of mobility, friends, and so on, also moving away, families moving away. So that's one big thing. The second big challenge is healthcare. Between navigating hospitals, which are not easy to do, going from one specialist to another, people treating your organs and not necessarily you as a person, polypharmacy, a bunch of things which really make it very difficult for elderly. And as people age, their bodies become different.
Yeah.
So I think these two, to my mind, stand out as the two big problems of elder care.
Some of those things that you're talking about perhaps may not be isolated to people that are above 70, 75, 80, maybe even much younger. What is the general age profile where you start to offer these elder care services?
What we have done is we look at these services in two buckets. There are people who require more intensive support and care, of which healthcare is a big part. and there are other needs around, safety, security, engagement, etc. For them, we have one set of offerings or services. The other are younger, I would call them younger elderly, or
Yeah.
seasoned
Yeah,
citizens.
people in their 50s who, have an empty nest now, for instance.
Right. And people who have retired recently.
Yeah.
I think at that stage, loneliness and lack of engagement and sometimes lack of purpose is a big challenge. And so that's the other set of services we have for people for whom you don't need intensive care, but you do need to ensure that there is continued, purpose in life.
Do you often, in your line of work, come across people with misconceptions about what they think elder care services would entail? What are some of the biggest misconceptions, you'd say?
This was the start of our journey. We started with an idea, like most people, of what elder care could be, right? And very interestingly, we did a large research, which we continue to sort of do every year now, to ask the simple question to variety of people: what is the challenge? What do you think needs to be addressed? Most of people like us, people who have aging parents or elderly, focus on the physical needs.
Yeah.
Right? Somebody should be able to take care of emergencies. Somebody should be able to take care of health.
Yeah, that's the first thing that
right?
comes
That's
to mind.
the thing that comes to mind.
Yeah.
When we asked the same question to the elderly, their response was very different. They didn't think that they needed this. Their problem or their challenge was more around, social and emotional needs. And that too, not too many. Three things: people to talk to, which we all know around isolation; places to go to.
Okay.
We hadn't realized how important lack of mobility and not being able to go to places is. And the third is this need to continue to be needed, that somebody, values me.
Yeah.
So I think this is a big part of, or misconception, as you said, is that it's all about physical needs. It isn't. It's equally about social and emotional needs.
The starting of this company, you said, came from a very personal base. You wanted these services for your loved ones, and that led you to start the company. What has been the most rewarding part of your journey, you'd say, so far?
It's an interesting question. And see, as any organization or whatever, as a professional, the biggest reward is when people tell you, well done. Yeah?
Yeah.
Companies say, look, we have delighted customers.
Yeah.
I think for us, the biggest reward is that we've taken that one step further. We have customers who are not just delighted, they are grateful. And to me, to have grateful customers or grateful clients, whether they are children or they are elderly, is, I think, the biggest reward. I think what we've also been able to do is, for hundreds of women, get them into an opportunity which gives them joy and fulfillment by, serving elderly. So to me, that's the big, reward personally, if you think from the work at Samarth.
When you talk about elder care services, are some of the requirements very specific to male versus female elders?
So there are differences.
Yeah.
And healthcare is a big example of differences. I also do a little bit of work in gender as,
Yeah.
Women get very little attention on their healthcare needs. Women will not go to hospital. Women will not go and
They'll
see a doctor.
prioritize the health
They
of
prioritize the
their
health
family.
and it's probably conditioning from a long time. So I think that's one big difference. I think women are, in a way, a little bit better integrated. Men find it very hard when they are single or when they are left alone. Women are able to cope better. So those are a couple of things, but yeah.
Well, what would you say are some of the most common challenges that elderly face? I mean, you sort of busted the myth that it's not just medical attention that they require, but what would you say are some of the other challenges they face?
It starts from a position of trust. It's very hard to trust. And for elderly, trust is the biggest, driver of how they make their decisions. I'll give you an example again. There are families who we know, people who we know, like to travel a lot, right? In their, younger days, they would travel a lot. And they've given up traveling. The reason is, and, today you would say that, look, you can buy your tickets online, you can reserve, your cab, etc.
Yeah.
They worry about the in-between things. What happens when they get out of the car and they are boarding a train,
Yeah.
right? And God forbid if they have to go to a washroom. So the infrastructurally there are challenges. Mobility is a challenge. So that's one set of things which makes it really, really difficult for elderly to just navigate life as they grow old. The second thing is that there aren't enough opportunities for social engagement. The moment you lose bit of your mobility, and as we discussed, it's hard to sort of go out. That starts to weigh on your mind. Then very quickly we see people getting into depression, leading to then physical lack of wellness. So I think it's a difficult place for people to age.
Yeah.
And that's what we are trying to change at Samarth.
Well, it is a difficult place. And like you said, perhaps one of the most rewarding aspects of your job has been going above and beyond and getting that well done, from some of these people. But is there a story you'd like to share with our viewers that has really stayed with you in what you do? And that work is very, very personal.
People always talk about and want to know how we do what we do. I think having strong processes, having robust technology, having training and all that is essential. I mean, without that, you can't, people shouldn't think of elder care without that. But really, what makes a difference is care that comes from the heart, right? And I think that's what, the stories, etc., are about, honestly. We've had, I can give you some examples. We had somebody in Agra who, had stopped walking. And it was felt that, this gentleman would never walk. And really, it wasn't a physical problem. In about 6 months of work, our care team was able to get him back up on his feet. He was just so depressed that he had stopped getting out of bed, right? We've had people call us and tell us and say, look, we didn't have a sister and your care manager has added that to our family. So I think there are, those are the kind of things which make you believe that whatever we are doing is worth it.
Well, what you touched upon is essentially not just addressing the physical needs, but more the emotional needs and the psychological needs of the elderly. Tell us about the kind of work that you do there, because, that is a large aspect of what you do in elder care.
It's an interesting one. And every senior we look after now thousands of elderly across the country. There is always something that becomes a emotional or social hook on which you can build. So if you have to address the psychological, emotional things, you have to find that hook. Is there an interest that they had which they have given up because it's just become too difficult to pursue? Painting. We've had people who like to paint, who like to travel. They've given it up. For some people, it is something that they wanted to do but couldn't because it was difficult.
Yeah.
Writing a book, learning a new skill. Apart from that, I think they've stopped meeting people. So I think you have to figure out what may be the emotional hook around which, our care team, our care managers can, build and create an opportunity for them to engage psychologically and
but
emotionally.
How easy is it for you to get these elders to open up to you? Because, you're essentially people they don't know from before. They're in a tough spot. How do you get them to even open up to you to get to these emotional hooks to then further solve the problem?
So it takes a little bit of effort. And again, it's something, from the heart. By the way, elderly are very smart and they can differentiate very easily what position you are coming from. And they recognize when they seek care, right? So, of course, the children help. It's all, care is a team effort. And the children equally are part of the care team. So oftentimes you get cues from children about their past, and we invest a lot of time, understanding that. But otherwise, to our care managers, it takes probably 1 or 2 months to get that comfort where they understand enough then to be able to build on that. And once you start that, it becomes a great, very enjoyable thing for both the elderly and our care team to work on, because you can see results, you can see them, blooming again.
Well, in this entire process, what would you say is the role that family plays? Because often you'd have children that are living abroad trying to take care of their parents that are living here, perhaps alone in India. So how do you, sort of bridge that sort of difference, the difference of thousands of kilometers?
See, the family is I've always maintained, and as I said, it's a team effort. Care is a team effort, and the family is an integral part of that team, right? What this does is, or what our work does, is actually brings the family closer, because it creates more opportunities for the children to engage with their parents in more meaningful ways. So, for example, if we take off the burden of a lot of, transactional tasks, then suddenly the two can engage on things that they enjoy more rather than trying to take care of chores or, sometimes people who are residing abroad, they come for 1 month or 2 months. And we used to see that a lot of their time they would spend on, fixing things, running errands. Now, if they don't have to do that, then that period can be spent much more productively, effectively, joyfully between the parent and the children.
Okay, you've sort of given a sense of what you do here, but for someone who's listening in, what are the core services that you at Samarth Healthcare are able to, Eldercare are able to offer, for people that are looking to sort of, provide these kind of services for their parents or other loved ones?
So, in a nutshell, we do whatever children would do for their parents.
Okay.
It's a tall claim, but we make it with some, experience and the ability to do that. See, as a child, you would do everything, everywhere, every time for your parents. And we try to get to that. I mean, obviously, getting 100% there is difficult. But to structure this thing, we think about our work in terms of a few care pillars.
Okay.
Right. Healthcare is a big care pillar. So we do everything in healthcare, be it, taking care of medicines, doctors, taking them to hospital, making sure tests are done, whatever is required. The other one is, handling emergencies end to end. God forbid if there's an emergency, then, we are there and we settle it completely. Safety. Making sure the home is fall proof. Security, prevent from abuse, which sometimes, happens, and there are risks in most cities when they stay alone. There's a whole pillar around convenience needs, which can be as simple as making sure bills are paid to more complex things, repairs, maintenance, visas, passports, etc. And finally, engagement, finding a purpose. So that sort of, spans what we do. And we do it exactly, as children would do.
So does this mean, Samarth, is a phone call away? Does it mean a person is living in with the elderly 24/7? What is the typically, what does the service entail?
So for every family, what we do is we provision for a care manager who's dedicated to that family.
Okay.
She, and I'm saying she because, we have about 500 people, 97% of them are women. So these care managers sort of lead the effort and really become like family members. They visit the parents, number of times during a month. And through them, we bring all these services together. We have experts. We actually run our own clinic for elderly. Okay. Where we have our own doctors, clinicians, etc. We have people who understand insurance very well. We have people who can get any kind of work done in any part of the country. So the care manager ensures that all these services, all these capabilities are brought to bear to the family.
Okay. Do you think that's what sets you apart from the rest that are in this business? What makes Samarth unique?
So I would say there are three things. And the most important one is the kind of people we have. The people who work for us are people like us, folks who have had a professional career, but for a variety of reasons, now choose to do something different and something high impact. So in terms of socioeconomic profile, education, the people who work for us are, very similar to the people we serve. In fact, many of them are also people we serve. And I think that makes a very, very different experience for people to see folks who can actually, who are like them and who are playing a role as if they were sisters or brothers for them. I think the second is we have a unique mix of what we call touch and tech.
Okay.
And I'll take a few seconds to explain that. See, the requirement for elderly and for children are very different. The comfort with technology is very different. The children want to see everything, real time, what's going on, where, what happened, etc.
Yeah.
So for them, we have a full-fledged, tech platform on which they see.
For them to get updates.
For them to get updates, for them to, answer that simple question, is everything all right? And they want to know it, every time.
Yeah.
So through the app, they get complete visibility. Parents are different. They are a different, there is difference in how tech savvy they are. Some of them actually don't trust technology and they will never see any technology. They'll only see our touch, right? Which brings in empathy, which comes from, a person who they can talk to, who they can... So I think that's the second element which is different. I think the third is just the sheer scope of what we do, the depth of the work that we do, and the reach. Nobody else has the kind of reach where today I can say, look, no matter which part of the country your parents are in, we'll be there to support them.
Well, so then finally, a piece of advice you'd like to give to families that are living far away from their loved ones and looking to provide this kind of support to them.
It's difficult to give advice, but
Well, if I were to put you in a spot, anyway.
So again, I would say three things. One, understand how your parents think, right? And this I'm saying because I've heard so many children talk about their frustration because the parents are not accepting help or are refusing to be supported and so on. We have a very simple framework. It's called 1, 2, 3, the 1, 2, 3 of care. You have to learn what is their one wish, what are their 2 fears, and what are their 3 joys. Right? Their one wish is to stay independent. Their 2 fears are that I should stay healthy so that I can take care of myself. And they worry about money matters because for them, the money that they have should, rest, help them for rest of their lives. And they draw joy from 3 things.
Yeah.
People to talk to, places to go to, and to be needed.
Yeah.
So always think whatever you are doing, is it playing to one of these things?
Yeah.
Right? If you can increase their sense of independence, if you can address their worries, if you can increase their joy, they'll love it. They'll like it. The second is when you think of support, start early. Too many people wait too long for something to happen. And I think that's a mistake. Because by then, oftentimes, it's too late.
Yeah.
So think of doing things early. And the third is do simple preventive things.
Like?
See, so I'll tell you, vaccinations and screenings. People don't do that for adults. We all do for our children when they were small, but we don't do for adults. There are 5, not too many, 5 vaccinations and 5 screens. If you do, then the probability of life-threatening diseases can go down by 30-40%. They don't cost too much. They don't take a lot of effort. All you have to say is, yes, get it done. So we have a service which gets that done. I think preventive care is the best thing, one of the most essential things every child should encourage their parents to have.
Asheesh, do you want to list down the core services that Samarth offers for elder care?
Sure. So in terms of services, there are 5 major areas in which we offer services. There is healthcare, in which we cover everything from end-to-end hospitalization to medicines, tests, etc. Home care is a part of it, so people who need that, we can even set up an ICU at home.
Okay.
The second big area is emergency. So again, we handle emergencies end-to-end, including taking care of stuff in the hospital, back, etc. The third big area is safety and security. So from fall-proofing the house to making sure people who are working at home are security checked. In some cases, even installing CCTVs, etc., where there are chances of abuse, etc. The fourth area is what we call broadly convenience needs. And it could be from as simple as making sure bills are paid, utilities are up, to more complex tasks like repairs, maintenance, paperwork, visas, etc. And the fifth and perhaps an equally important one, or I would say more important one, is social and emotional engagement or companionship, in which we bring out old interests. We try to figure out things which interest them, which would engage them, have them meet other people. We also do travel for seniors, etc., so that they can continue to find joy as well in whatever they do.
Okay.
And today we offer this in 350 cities across the country. We serve NRIs in 32 countries across the world. We have a network of close to 10,000 hospitals, clinics, diagnostic centers, etc., so that in any part of the country, healthcare, is provided completely.
So, someone who's looking to avail of these services, are there various plans you offer, or how does this work?
So we offer a variety of plans. Some are focused on comprehensive needs, or what we call comprehensive care, which covers everything. Some are focused specifically on health. Some are focused specifically on companionship, so one can choose. And of course, for HSBC customers, there are special offers. All the customers also get a dedicated care manager who is sort of in charge of the care of their family and parents.
Well, absolutely. And Asheesh, thank you so much for taking us through what's a deeply personal issue for many people. Perhaps they're grappling with it, and we hope this podcast gives them something to think about. Thank you so much for your time today, Thad.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
All right. On that note, that's it on this podcast, Navigate with HSBC. Do follow HSBC India across their social media handles and visit www.hsbc.co in for any requirements. On that note, it's a goodbye and thank you for watching.